Thank you guys so much. We're gonna stretch those legs and get ready to walk.
Okay. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. How many New Yorkers are here? We like all of you other people too. Yeah, we do. Make sure you have a little space, and if you touch your neighbor, make sure you get their name. If you want to get their number, that's up to you. That's not up to me. All right. Throw your hands on your hips. Bend your right knee, lean left. Take a couple of breaths there. Look at your friend. Make sure they let you know how hot you look. And I mean sweaty. Are y'all sweating? Yeah, we're sweating. Now we're gonna go to the other side. Bend left. Look at the person on the right. Y'all should be checking out my cool friend on the side that's signing for you. We are accessible. Come back to center. Reach your arms up, take a deep breath in. Look at the beautiful sky. Cross your thumbs, lean back, open your heart, open your shoulders. Stretch out to side. Now here's the hard part. You know, it takes a lot of balance to walk overnight, right? And we have to have our friends help us with balance. So you're probably gonna need to put an arm on somebody to your left and an arm on somebody to your right. And then you're gonna lift your leg up because you're balanced. Enjoy my invisible friends. I've got Kristen over here, I've got Seaway over here. You can bend your leg. My friends are holding me up. You're never alone, you know. Bring that leg down. Now we're gonna try the other side. Look at that. You guys look good. I love it. Make sure you know your neighbors, you're touching them. We don't touch strangers. We don't touch strangers. That's bad. Bring your hands down. Good. Now we're just gonna take our hands and put it on your thigh. Stretch the other leg out. I will not twerk for you, that's a different class. We're just gonna stay here like this. You can bring your elbow down to your thigh. Reach up. Again, we've got to look at this wonderful sky, this first day of summer. So many things you can be doing with your whole life, and you're here in New York walking for suicide prevention. Slowly come back up. You're gonna turn those right toes in, turn your left toes out, bend the knee, elbow to thigh, look up. Oh, y'all are getting selfies in. All right, I like it. Look up. Now really open your heart, twist back. This whole experience is a heart-opening experience, walking overnight for friends, for family, for self. Slowly come back up. Turn those left toes in. All right, let me see. My mom said this was called the Uncle Willie back in the day. Toe heel your feet in. Uncle Willie. Gotta be over 70 to know that, okay. And then reach your arms up, cross your thumbs. Open your feet just wide enough your hips, and you're gonna stretch over to the right and just feel the lengthening along the left side. Keep the breathing going. Now we're gonna get a little fancy. You're gonna turn and look at the floor and reach that way. Good. Cross those thumbs again, come back up. Turn the other way. We're gonna lean left. Then you know what's coming. You've seen this choreography. You're gonna turn and face and reach. Good. You should feel a whole lot happening in your hamstrings, your thighs, your hips. Come all the way back up. Bring your arms behind your back, right? Some of y'all like me might have a backpack you're gonna wear, so you wanna open your shoulders a bit. So as you interlace the hands behind your back, literally work the shoulders. Feel the rinse in your shoulder blades, look up. Heart opening, shoulder opening, throat opening, lean back, see your neighbors. Come back up. And shake it out. Shake out your arms, shake out your legs. And your breath's gonna be really important too. You're drinking water, you're stopping. So everybody take a really slow, deep breath in. Sigh it out. Look at your neighbor and tell them, you got this. Look at another neighbor and tell them, you are not alone. And I need y'all to remember that when you take a deep breath in and you look at somebody and you look at their bead colors and you're aware that you're connected, and you may never see that person again, but you know that you're connected. You can take a deep breath and look at that person and know that we are committed to this cause, that we dream a world without suicide. Shake your arms out, shake your legs out. You're gonna have a great walk in my hometown. I'm a native New Yorker, born and raised here. Give it up for New York, give it up for AFSP, give it up for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us at the 2025 Out of Darkness Overnight Walk. Give it up for Dion. And now we're about to introduce Bob Gebbia. He is the host and CEO of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Everybody give it up. Here is Bob Gebbia.
Such a fan of Dion. Thank you, Dion. Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you, everyone, for being here at the 2025 Out of the Darkness Overnight New York City. And how fitting is it that we're here on the Intrepid, an iconic, landmark representing our military, because we lose too many of our military and veterans to suicide. We walk in honor of them, and starting here is so fitting. So tonight is not like any other walk. This marks the 30th Walk for Suicide Prevention overnight that we've had. This is a milestone for our organization, and it's because of you. Whether you're here tonight for the first time, your first walk, or whether you've been here for all 30, you give us the strength to do this. Thank you for being with us on this journey. Now, tonight we walk to bring suicide out of the darkness and into the light, and to show everyone who may be struggling that you're not alone. To those with lived experience of being suicidal who are with us tonight, I say to you, thank you for your courage. We're so glad you're with us. We also recognize that there are many, far too many, who are no longer with us. And tonight we walk to remember those we've lost. Let's pause for a moment of silence and honor the parents, siblings, children, partners and friends, all the loved ones that we've lost to suicide. Thank you. It's so inspiring to be here celebrating the 30th overnight. When we had the idea in 2002, people actually said, this won't work. Even those who cared deeply about our cause didn't believe people would walk for suicide prevention. The stigma at the time was just far too great. And as we know, they were wrong. Passionate people did come out and walk in that first walk in Washington, D.C. And in the years that followed, they kept coming. And more people walked, and more people walked. Not counting tonight's walk, over 40,000 people have walked or volunteered for the overnight. 40,000 people. And that doesn't even count during COVID when we did it virtually. And it all started, really, with those brave people who walked in that very first walk and said, I'm going to walk for this. I'm going to speak out about this. And the theme of that walk was no more secrets. And they came to that first walk. And this evening, we're really honored to have some of those who walked in that first walk with us walking in this walk. They are the pioneers of our community, and they're about to come on stage. Please join me in celebrating our 2002 Overnight Walkers. overnight. Thank you for being with us so many years ago when we started this journey. A lot has changed since that first walk. Thanks to you and those that have joined you over the years, suicide no longer carries the same amount of stigma that it used to. Thanks to you, we have a more informed public that understands more about suicide, its causes and its prevention. And there's more support than ever before for those that need it. And thanks to you and countless others who have joined our cause, the overnight has raised over $64 million to advance the cause of suicide prevention, and we're still counting. I want to acknowledge one family that's here on the stage. They attended the first 2002 overnight to honor their son, Raymond Matthew Burke. And they proceeded to attend every single overnight since then. Every single, all 30. So tonight they celebrate their 30th, as does AFSP. I want to thank Ray and Marianne Burke for being just amazing, amazing champions for our cause. Now, at the overnight, we use luminaria bags to help us remember those we've lost and those who have struggled and thankfully made it through. Most of you have dropped off your bags to our volunteers can lay them out for your return in the morning. Our 2002 walkers are still holding their bags, and I invite them to place them in front here on the stage. I think they've done that already. And as they do this, I encourage all of us to think about people who we've lost and honor those who are with us. And honor yourself if you're here and you have struggled. Let's make a pledge to keep spreading hope for all those that need it and to bring light and take us out of the darkness. Thank you to our 2002 overnight walkers. Now there's one more person I'd like to acknowledge before we go any further, and tonight's walk is dedicated to a longtime friend and supporter of AFSP, Dennis Tackett. We lost Dennis to leukemia this past year. Now Dennis got involved in 2006 in the overnight after losing his son Jeff, and has been a tireless advocate for the cause. He walked in 22 overnights. And I can't begin to describe the impact he has made on this walk and our cause. We're so grateful tonight to have his wife Chris and their family with us participating in this overnight to carry on his legacy of supporting suicide prevention. Thank you, Chris and family, to the Tackett family, thank you. Now there are some others I really want to thank and recognize who make this walk possible. I want to thank our New York City chapter for the work they do all year long and for being such gracious hosts for tonight's overnight. Thank you, New York City chapter. And let's show our appreciation for our volunteers and hardworking staff for all they've done for this year's overnight. We can't do it without them. And I hope you'll post on social media about the overnight and spread the word about your experience and our cause. And when you do so, use the hashtag #OvernightWalk and follow us on Instagram at AFSP National, at AFSP National. Of course, we want to thank everyone who's raised funds for tonight's event and for suicide prevention. I especially want to thank our North Stars. They have raised $10,000 or more for this year's overnight. Let's hear it for our North Stars. Now, some North Stars have gone above and beyond in their fundraising this year, and I want to acknowledge our top fundraising teams for this year's walk. Liam O'Neill and Team Aiden O'Neill, thank you. Dan and Jen Sweeney and their team, Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. Nancy Cook and Team Forever Young, and David and Jill Mintz with their team Diamond Dogs. Thank you again to our top fundraisers, but thank you to everyone who raised money for this event. And because of your efforts, I'm proud to share with you that collectively you have raised $2.9 million. And counting. We can hit 3. I think we can. Don't stop. Thank you. You're amazing, and I can't thank you so much for raising funds for our cause. Now, every dollar you raise helps AFSP provide support to those who have lost someone and to those who struggle with thoughts of suicide. And your participation in this walk makes possible our investment in research and education and advocacy that we need to prevent suicide. Since we were together last year, we awarded another $8.5 million in new research studies, bringing our current portfolio of research to over $32 million. We delivered our signature Talk Saves Lives program over 2,000 times across the country, and we held our International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day in 300 communities across the US and in 20 countries around the world. It's spreading internationally. We also expanded our Seize the Awkward campaign, which is a public service campaign focused on teens and young adults. And we began our groundbreaking work to address suicide in the construction industry, an occupation with one of the highest rates of suicide. Because of your support, I am very hopeful about the future. However, that doesn't mean there aren't challenges and concerns. We've seen growing uncertainty surrounding federal policies and spending that could impact suicide prevention. That's why we have been very active advocating for continued federal funding for research, youth suicide prevention, and 988 and crisis services. And just yesterday, we announced our support for continuing to fund through 988 specialized services for the LGBTQ+ community. We need that to continue, and we have to advocate for that because it's slated to be cut. We've also spoken out about the need to maintain access to affordable mental health care, including through Medicaid, because without that coverage, there are many who would not be able to get the help they need. So while there's uncertainty, one thing remains clear, and I promise you this: it's our dedication to our mission. At AFSP, we are focused on addressing the mental health needs and suicide prevention needs of everyone, because suicide affects all of us. We recognize there's much more to do, and we can't make progress in our life-saving work without all of you, our walkers, volunteers, donors, advocates, researchers, partner companies, and partner organizations. Thank you for sharing your passion, your lived experience, and your generosity with us. And thank you for leading the fight to prevent suicide. Thank you so much for being with us and for walking. Now, to share a few words tonight, we're very lucky to have someone who personifies bringing light out of the darkness. Comedian Gary Gulman is a very dear friend of AFSP's. He has been amazingly open about his own lived experience of suicidal depression, and his brilliant HBO special, The Great Depression, which you have to check out, The Great Depression, focuses on his life, and this part of his life. He continues to demystify and destigmatize the topic through his work, as well as through a recent series of 100 Instagram posts in which he shares how he manages his own mental health on a daily basis. So we're really grateful to have our friend. We're so grateful for his honesty, his humor, and for joining us tonight. Please welcome Gary Gulman. Gary?
Thank you. Now keep clapping, it makes me feel more comfortable. Thank you. Oh, thank you, a little bit more. All right. I can see you if you're not clapping, and I can only see you if you're not clapping. You see, with our arms folded, why are you withholding? This is a labor of love. And I wrote something, and it's it's funny in parts, but mostly what will be difficult is to keep from, the thing is that I'm a crybaby, and this is so moving, right? We're here tonight because we get it. And we get it because we've suffered it, or studied it, or loved someone with it. Look around you. You're not looking around you. Look around you. Look at the people around you, because all these people get it, either through experience or from loving us enough to listen. You're surrounded by people who get it, who understand what mental illness feels like, or understand what it feels like to care for someone who suffers from mental illness. And tragically, people who understand what it feels like to lose someone. Look at all the people who get it. Look at yourself, look at us. By some miraculous adaptation, we have become the people we always needed. And this is just the intersection of people who get it, who are willing to walk an insane amount of steps. There are people who don't have the energy for this, and they get it. I do want to share some good news, and I promise you, I'm not trying to be glib, which is a word I was only aware of a few years ago, but you'll understand. There has never been a better time to be mentally ill. There's less stigma, significantly less than when I was 7 years old and I first started to feel this thing that I didn't have a name for, and then 12 years later when I got a diagnosis, and I would sneak into my therapist's office at Boston College. I would sneak in, I would make sure the coast was clear before I entered, and then look both ways before I exited, because I was surrounded by people who didn't get it. I hid my medicine for 4 years and would tear off the labels and deposit them in different trash cans throughout campus because nobody got it. Today, it's never been easier to find people who get it. Never been a better time to be mentally ill. More people are opening up and helping more people open up. There are more treatments and less reluctance about seeking treatment. We are less alone with this curse every day. And why? Because of us. Because of the people surrounding us. We are strong, though our brains told us we were weak, and brave, even though our brains called us cowards, and indefatigable, even though our brains called us defatigable. Which is really funny if you understand how many times I had to practice the word indefatigable without really screwing it up royally. And I'm just gonna move on, but I want you to know you let me down. Somehow, through will and persistence, and of course, luck, I will not discount luck, I had more than my share, we made it back to ourselves. And now, we have a sacred obligation to help others get back to themselves. And tonight, we can take a step worth 30,000 in fulfilling that obligation. I love you, and I thank you for your time.
check it out, The Great Depression. Thank you, Gary, for being with us and for your remarks. Appreciate that. So, I want to introduce our next speaker, someone who has had the experience with suicide that has led her to a lifelong commitment to purpose and impact and transformation. She's a passionate radio host, a teacher, author, and an advocate for health equity. And she continues to inspire others by turning her journey of survival into a powerful force for change. Please join me in welcoming Patricia Robinson. Patricia?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Bob. I first learned about the overnight walk when I was researching mental health resources for my radio show, Conversations on the Block. Hearing about this cause moved me deeply and personally because at the age of 17, I attempted suicide. I took a whole bottle of pills. I was given a second chance. Coming across the overnight this year served as a powerful reminder of the battles I've overcome and a call to action to keep using my voice to uplift others. This is more than just a walk. It's a testament to love, loss, and resilience. It is a reminder that visibility matters and that healing is collective. And it is an honor to be a part of this collective with you tonight. Thank you. The honor beads we wear represent the many connections to our cause that brought us here tonight. Our victories, our struggles, our losses. They also unite us. Just look around. You'll see that no matter what your story looks like, you're not alone. I'm honored to introduce you to some extraordinary members of our community whom you'll be walking with tonight. Tonight, purple beads are worn by those who have lost a friend or relative. Rhonda Schultertz wears hers in honor of Aaron Jude, a family friend from her home country of Guyana in South America. Aaron died when he was 15 years old, one of the many youths whose lives have been cut tragically short by suicide. Rhonda walks to raise international awareness of suicide prevention programs. She knows that erasing the stigma is crucial so that many more young people feel safe reaching out. Dan and Jen Sweetie wear white beads, along with those who have lost a child. Their son, Cal, had a quick wit and a kind heart that showed itself especially in his love for animals. He had just graduated Merrimack College when he died by suicide in January of last year at the age of 23. Dan and Jen choose to heal loudly instead of suffering quietly so that more people will see the devastating effects of suicide, and in the process, they inspired an incredible team that has raised more than $200,000 for the overnight over 2 years. They hope that more people will find the courage during darkness to see ahead to a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. The orange beads worn by Jen Jones represent those who have lost a sibling. 22 years ago, Jen's big brother Jeff was engaged to be married and preparing to return to school when he tragically died by suicide. As she walks tonight, Jen carries the memory of her brother and a fierce determination to help create a world where people can find hope and support in their darkest moments. Tonight, Ellen Marks wears rainbow beads, honoring members of the LGBTQ+ community who have died or struggled with suicide. Ellen and her wife, Monica, spent 30 years together. As soon as marriage became legal for them, they jumped at the chance. They were married for 12 years before Monica tragically took her own life in 2021. Ellen unfortunately knows how the LGBTQ+ community has been affected by suicide more than others and is honored to represent that community tonight at her first overnight walk. She walks to remind everyone who is suffering that no one needs to suffer in silence. Silver beads are worn by those who remember a first responder or member of the military. John Harris is a U.S. Air Force veteran, a community outreach behavioral consultant, and a proud member of Teen Ruck Up. He wears silver in honor of his Air Force brother Aaron, his high school friend Berkeley, and for students and clients who are currently struggling. John wants everyone to accept that it is okay not to be okay. If you are struggling, it is okay to lean on people because some wounds aren't visible. The green beads, worn by Lala Ramirez, signify her own struggle with depression and suicidal thoughts. She knows how isolating it can be to move through the darkness of depression in search of hope. Tonight she walks to support those who are still fighting and to help break the silence that surrounds mental health. Mostly, she hopes to remind others that they are not alone and that together we walk a path towards healing, connecting, and lasting change. Ezra Lee wears teal beads tonight, representing those who know someone struggling with suicide and mental illness. Over the years, he's known many friends in high school, college, and beyond who have struggled with or attempted suicide. He avidly remembers late nights, sometimes entire nights, talking on the phone to help them through the toughest storms. He knows that talking helps, and tonight he will stay up again, talking and sharing to lend his voice and to support those who are struggling. Gold beads are worn tonight by those who have lost a parent. Shalana Jackson wears her beads in honor of her mother, who died by suicide 10 years ago, leaving Shalana lost and searching for a path forward. She found the overnight 1 year later, and this community showed her that she isn't alone in her grief. Through her advocacy with AFSP and her involvement in Talk Saves Lives program, she aims to support all of those who are struggling. She walks tonight to prevent others from experiencing the painful loss of a parent to suicide. The red beads that Lindsay Gardner wears tonight represent those who remember partners or spouses that they've lost to suicide. Lindsay's beloved boyfriend Matthew lost his life to suicide 2 years ago this month. Lindsay joined the overnight as a way to keep his memory alive, raise awareness, and help others who may be struggling. She walks with the hope that her steps contribute to breaking the silence and stigma of suicide and offer hope to those in pain. Finally, blue beads are worn by all of us who dream of a world without suicide. Chris Tackett wears hers in honor of this passionate community that became a second family to her and her late husband Dennis, to whom we've dedicated this year's walk. After their son Jeff died, Chris and Dennis gratefully turned to this event that has helped honor so many who have died and help give hope and resolve to those who are struggling. This year, as she attends the walk for the first time without Dennis by her side, Chris is more grateful than ever for the endless support of her overnight family. The stories that brought us here may differ, but tonight we stand together with one unified, powerful goal to end suicide. That's why we all hold blue beads in our hands. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to turn to someone near you and place those beads over their head. As you give your beads, think about the hope we give each other as we walk through the night. As you receive beads from someone else, think about the strength we get as a community, knowing that we're all in this together. Please place your blue beads over the head of someone near you now. Now, as you turn back toward me, grasp the hands of those around you and squeeze them tight. Feel the power of this community. Feel our unity. Keep that feeling with you as we walk through the night. And remember that together we are powerful. Together we are unstoppable. Together we can and will end suicide.
Thank you, Patricia, for your remarks. And thanks to everyone who participated in our opening ceremony. So we're really close to starting, and I invite our North Stars, those who, again, with their teams, to go to my right, your left, towards the start. We would like you to go to the start line and lead us out tonight in our walk. So North Stars and teams. So as they walk towards the start, I just have a couple of questions for you all. Are you ready to walk all night long? I think so, yeah. Are you ready to bring our message of hope to the streets of New York? Yeah, I think so again. Are you ready to raise our voices for suicide prevention for the 30th time? Well, it sounds like we're ready, so let's begin the 2025 Out of the Darkness New York City Walk. Thank you.